Hey everybody, this is Josh, the 9-inning know-it-all, coming to you today for 9-inning baseball talk. Today I've taken 9 topics and questions that I've seen on Twitter, Facebook, or even just watching ESPN, kind of trying to get an idea of what's going on right now in baseball, and just kind of giving my thoughts on it. So right off the bat, topic number 9 is, do I think that the off-season, the slow signings and all the process that's going on right now is hurting baseball? And the simple answer to that is yes. I think that's hurting baseball because one of the biggest parts of baseball is that trade factor, that hot stove, that off-season time in which there's constant movement of players, excitement. To give you a perfect example, I'm a Mariners fan, have been all my life. And I have no illusion to think that the Mariners are going to beat the Astros and win the AL West unless the Astros get hurt. If half the Astros get hurt, then there's a chance. But really, my Mariners don't have a chance. But when they made the trade for D. Gordon, it got me excited. It got me excited for the season to come. And that's really what the offseason is about for baseball. It's about getting the fans excited for what could be, the potential for that year. And so the fact that it's moving so slow, that there are so many top-level free agents not being signed at this point, is hurting baseball, I think. Now, do I think it's going to have a huge impact once the season starts? No, because those guys will get signed at some point, and that when that happens, it'll build the excitement up for the teams and for the fan base. But the slow moving parts right now, usually at this point, the teams are pretty well set, and that's not happening right now. There are enough guys out there in free agency that can make a difference for a playoff contending team that I think there's a lot of fans who just aren't sure how excited they should be right now. They don't know if their team is set. They don't know if their competitors are set. And so, yeah, I think it is hurting baseball a little bit. Topic number 8 kind of deals with the offseason a little bit, but are the Astros built better for a repeat of the World Series than past champions? And once again, my answer is yes for this. They are a young, strong team that really proved last year they can compete with anybody and take it all the way to the end. And they did. And now this year, they're stronger. And if you look at some of the past teams, you get the Cubs, the Royals, especially the Royals. The Royals were not built really to repeat, it seemed like. Now, they did go to the World Series, lost one year, went to the World Series again and won the second time. But even then, it didn't seem like they were the top team, the most likely to repeat. Whereas you look at the Astros, they seem like they are a team destined to repeat. Now, once again, long season, injuries happen, guys can go in slumps, can affect a lot of things. But right now, I think the Astros repeating has a higher chance than a lot of the teams we've seen the last few years who have won the World Series. And this takes us to number 7. This is a topic that I've actually discussed with a few people, and I love talking about it. And that is the question of, is Mike Trout a Hall of Famer right now? If he were to never play another game, would he make the Hall of Fame? And in my opinion, the answer is no. Right now, he is not a Hall of Famer. But, I'll put this but out there, because a lot of people are going, oh man, but he's the best. I think he's had probably the greatest 5-6 years to start a career that anyone's ever had in the history of baseball. It's amazing what he's done. He has 2 MVP awards. He's been in the top 5 for MVP voting every full season that he's played. He has, I think, 3 second place finishes for the MVP voting. So his run to start his career has been the best ever. And I think in 5 years, we'll be discussing not only is he a Hall of Famer, is he a first ballot Hall of Famer, but we're going to be discussing whether or not he might be the greatest ball player to ever play Major League Baseball. I think he's that good. He's that solid. He's that amazing. But right now, if he ended his career right now, I don't think he'd be a Hall of Famer right now. He's only had, granted, once again, great years, 6 amazing years, but I think he needs a little more than that. He only has like 200 home runs. His batting averages for a career is like 306, so that's pretty solid. But I think overall he needs a few more years for us to really say he's a Hall of Famer. But once again, I think when he's completely done and we look back on his career, we're going to be discussing more than just is he a Hall of Famer. We'll be discussing it if he's going to be on the Mount Rushmore of Major League Baseball. We got Babe Ruth, he's on there, and we got a few others that can be discussed between Mantle and Gehrig and Ted Williams and guys like that. But I think Mike Trout will solidify himself as one of the greatest players in baseball history, if not the greatest. So this takes us to number 6, and that's a question that I actually get from a lot of baseball people just when we're talking about different things, and that is the question of what or where is my favorite place to watch baseball. And there's a lot of great places to watch ball. I love going to Little League games and going to the local college and watching them. I get the privilege of going to Safeco Field and watching the Mariners play, even though the Mariners aren't great. Longest running streak of not making the playoffs. But I love Safeco Field, but my favorite place to watch baseball is in Phoenix at all the different spring training facilities, but I love watching it during the fall. The Arizona Fall League, the crowds are, well, they're non-existent. The play is still top level. You're talking about the best prospects in baseball competing against each other, and it's just amazing. Beautiful weather, high-level facilities. It's amazing. So the Arizona Fall League in Phoenix is my favorite place to watch baseball. Spring training is a close second, once again, because same facilities and it's major league teams, but the crowds, I'm not a big fan of the crowds. I love being able to sit anywhere in the stadium, to be able to hear the players talk to each other because there's so few people. That is cool for me. I love that. So that takes us on to number 5, which is kind of the same question, but a little bit different. And what is my favorite minor league stadium to go watch a game? And honestly, I've gone to most of the ones in the Northwest, been to some down in California as well. And the favorite place that I've been to at this point is probably hands down Spokane. The Spokane Indians in Spokane, Washington have a beautiful stadium, and it is a fun stadium too. They actually do a lot of stuff that really keeps the fans excited and energized, and I love it. I love watching games there. Now I will say I've been down to Rancho Cucamonga down in California, and that's a cool stadium as well. It's a cool complex. The whole area is pretty neat. Eugene, the Eugene Emeralds have a nice stadium that's also actually the home of the University of Oregon Ducks baseball team, and they have a cool stadium, but at the same time, when it comes to overall atmosphere and the stadium itself, I love Spokane. Spokane is an amazing minor league complex, and honestly, when I go on vacations, if I go over in that area, I'm going there and planning to go to a game because that's just it's a fun spot to go. So this takes us down to question number 4, and that deals with the Hall of Fame, because the official announcement for how many people will be inducted into the Hall of Fame this year comes next week. And in my opinion, I think there's going to be 4 people inducted to the Hall of Fame. Now, we already know Chipper Jones, he's going to be in. Looks like Vlad Guerrero is in, and Jim Thome is in. So that's 3. And the other one I think is going to be Edgar Martinez. Now, I know that, there's still a lot of votes that need to be counted, haven't become public for people to see and register, but I think Edgar makes it this year. And I think that there's even an outside chance, I don't think this one's going to happen this year, that Trevor Hoffman gets in. So there's a chance of 5. And even Mike Mussina is close, but I don't think he's going to make it this year. He might make it later on. But I think this year is going to be 4, which is a pretty good number. And I wish that they had more years where they'd have 3, 4, 5 guys even, because it just adds the excitement for all the different players and franchises that get to put, a little mark into the Hall of Fame with players who wore their cap. So this takes us on to number 3, and this is one of my favorite discussions I've seen every offseason. That is, what is the best baseball movie? And for me, For Love of the Game. I love that movie. That movie is one of my favorites of all time for all movies. I always watch that, especially when I'm not feeling too good. I just need to watch something and just enjoy it. For Love of the Game. Now, I know a lot of people think Sandlot and things like that are the best, but For Love of the Game, no, it's the best. Moneyball, I do love Moneyball. I'm an okay fan of, Field of Dreams. I will watch that. I was a little young when it came out, so it wasn't necessarily something that struck me right off the bat, but it's a good movie. I do love Major League, and I love Bull Durham as well. But, once again, For Love of the Game is my number 1 movie of all time when it comes to baseball movies. So, this moves us on to number 2. And today, Evan Longoria was officially announced and at a press conference for the San Francisco Giants. And right off the bat, the question in my head is, what are my thoughts on this? What do I think of him wearing a Giants uniform? And my answer is very simply, it's weird. It looks awkward. And not that he's awkward, not that the jersey's awkward, or the team's awkward, but Evan Longoria in anything other than a Rays uniform doesn't look right to me. Just does not look right to me. And I wish him the best. He's always seemed like one of the cooler guys in Major League Baseball, but man, him in a Giants uniform just is weird looking. So I am not a big fan of that, but that's what happened. You know, Rays made a trade, Giants took advantage and got a solid player. I don't think he's as great as he used to be, but he's still Evan Longoria. He can still hit the ball, still play defense, you know, still a leader. So good for them, good player. Kind of excited to see how that goes this year. And now, topic number one, last question of the day. What am I most excited about for baseball in 2018? And there's actually quite a few things. One, I'm just ready for baseball to start. That's a big one. But I'm also really excited because here in my hometown of Longview, we are hosting the 13 to 15-year-old Babe Ruth World Series. Now, we've had this a few times in the past, and I will tell you, it is so much fun. Watching these 15-year-olds, these 14-year-olds come out and just give it their all. Every game, every play, every pitch. It's just fun. And it's fun to see their smiles, fun to see the excitement. They get to hear the crowds cheering for them, and it's a lot of fun. In fact, the first World Series that we ever had here in Longview, it was actually the 12 and under World Series, and there was a little known player out of Oakland named Jimmy Rollins who was here, and you know, I was pretty young at the time, so you know, I knew he was a good player. But the adults, when they talk about Jimmy Rollins, talk about just how amazing he was, even at that age. So we've had our number of major league players or future major league players come through and play in the World Series. So I'm excited to see this season, to see which teams from around the country qualify, and then just to enjoy that. So easily my biggest excitement for baseball this year is the Babe Ruth World Series coming to my hometown. Going to be there probably every day. Probably going to take vacation days so I don't miss a single pitch because it is a lot of fun. So ladies and gentlemen, that is 980 Baseball Talk. Thank you for watching the video. You know, if you do want to keep up on what we do and all the different videos we post, just hit subscribe down below. And also, if you do have any questions that you think you'd like to have me talk about or discuss, send us a tweet just simply saying, you know, the question you have. We'll keep track of them, and on the next time I do a video, I'll go through some of those questions. So thank you for watching us. Once again, I'm Josh, the 980 Know-It-All, and have a good night.